Would you like to double, triple, or even quadruple your email list to boost your revenue and reach and customers? I hope you're nodding your head and saying yes, yes, and yes, because after all, I think any smart entrepreneur would and should want to do so. Here's where I see entrepreneurs really getting it wrong. They put all the effort into growing their social media following without properly using that social media following to grow their email list. Why would that be such a mistake? Well, here are some of the stats that I really want you to pay attention to. Number one, your return on investment with an email list is 4 times higher than any marketing platform. In fact, the average ROI on email is 122%. That means for every dollar spent on email marketing, you could make between $45 to $51. And yes, you heard me right. And you do not, and I repeat, you do not own your social media followers. You do, however, own your email list. This means that a social media platform can just take away your followers at any point and dictate who does and does not see your content. Plus, and I say this often, if you do all your business on social media, you are building a business on rented land, a land that can be taken away at any time. Now, do I have your attention? I sure hope so. Listen, I'm not saying that you should neglect social media. What I'm saying is that you should be strategic and intentional with how you're interacting with your social media followers so that you can get them to want to be on your email list. And you're in luck because I'm going to rally up all the very best step-by-step strategies for converting your social media followers to email list subscribers on this episode. And here's what I love about these strategies. You can literally just start implementing them today. They are easy, they're straightforward, but really, really powerful. Now, something important to note is that all these strategies do encourage that you have some sort of lead magnet, a freebie, a free content that you can give away in exchange for a name and email. Simple terms. We're talking PDF, cheat sheets, checklist, guide, or maybe a 20-minute video. You need something of value that you can give away in exchange for email and name or even phone number. Now, if you do not have a lead magnet yet, that's okay. This is a great opportunity to create something because it is really, really simple. And in case you're feeling like you have no idea where to start, don't worry, I've got you covered. Just head over to our episode 112. It's at www.momboss.academy/blog/lead magnet, or just click on the link in the description to learn how to identify what lead magnet is and what is the right lead magnet for your audience. And from this episode, you are going to walk away today with absolute certainty what actions you want to take to start directing your social media followers to your email list so that you can start building your email list, nurturing your subscribers, and growing your business and your revenue. Are you ready to dive in? Okay, let's start with a little quiz. Are you A, wanting to get people to engage with you on Instagram, but for the life of you, all you hear is crickets? Or are you B, sometimes people engage with you, but they ask these long, detailed questions that sometimes feel like a personal coaching sessions or consultation as you just type the answer? Or maybe C, you have it all figured out on Instagram and you just don't really need any insight from yours truly. So if you are an A or B, stick with me. I'm going to chat with you for a second, but if you're a C, keep rocking. You can skip this podcast entirely and move on. All right, so let's talk about the 2 strategies that you can use that are relatively easy and quick that you can actually deploy today on Instagram to start growing your newsletter list. Let's go back to that quiz that we just went through. A, like I can't get any engagements. Okay, let's dive into A. If you're not getting any engagement on your Instagram, the first thing you want to do is give people easy ways to start engaging with you. In fact, you're not alone. With Instagram stories now, they make it really easy for us. You have in-app tools to drive engagement. So if you just open up your IG stories, you record a photo or a video, you can just click on the icon with like a happy face, and then you click on that. It'll give you options, right? You can put in geo tag your location, you can put in hashtag, you can also have engagement drivers like add a poll, add a quiz, or that little slider. And what I want you to do in order to start driving engagement is that I want you to think about two things that you are uniquely qualified to talk about that give value to your followers. Let's say that you are a fitness professional and you know that your zone of genius is meal planning and creating workout plans. I mean, remember, we're trying to drive engagement right now. I want you to go to Instagram stories, right? I want you to scroll over to a new feature called layout. And in that layout, you can just select anywhere between 2 to 8 photos. But for now, what I want you to do is choose two layouts, just the two side by side or up and down, right? Upload 2 photos, okay? Select the engagement driving tool. Use the poll. Using the example as fitness professionals, one of your photos could be a photo of a meal planning prep day in your kitchen. And the other photo could be a photo of you working out, or maybe when you're training, or when you are doing your yoga, or maybe you're training somebody or a client of yours, right? And then in your story, when you have your photo of your meal prep and the photo of you training somebody else or you exercising, I want you to put the poll and ask a question, right? You could say, which one of these are you more interested in, right? That's just point, meal planning, and the other one would be fitness routine. Now, what I want you to do is, in the back of your mind, whoever answers that poll, you are going to give an answer to. Okay? Let's say I saw your story. Let's say I select fitness routine, right? I want to work out. So then what you would do is that you go to the results of the people who voted on your poll, right? And you could see that, let's say I voted on it. Michelle Hon likes fitness routine. Then what I want you to do is give the engagement that you want to get, right? So you click on whoever select my account, and send me a direct message and say, hey Michelle, I noticed that you voted on the poll, and it says that you wanted a fitness routine, and I would love to send you one of my most powerful workouts for free. You can sign up for it here. Just add the link. Boom, right? What you just did is drove engagement, made it easy for people to respond, and then you reach out to them and say, hey, I'd like to give you something for free, a gift. Who doesn't like a gift? And then you can just give them the link to opt in. And that has been one of the most powerful way to move somebody from a passive viewer to somebody who easily engaged, and you getting that person on your list. And so now I want you to do this for everybody who voted in the poll. Now, let's say that, I voted on meal prep. Well, good, right? You are going to have an opt-in for every poll option that you have, so that now you can go, hey, Michelle, I have a meal plan here that you can opt in. I have created a meal plan for myself and my clients, and I would love to give it to you for free. Add the link again. Boom, you got me again, regardless of whichever it is that I voted on. So what you want to do is probably create that 2 lead magnets for the 2 options. Either way, they're coming to your email list. Now, I know for those who are starting out, you're probably going, Michelle, I don't have that many lead magnet. And that's okay, right? All you need is maybe have that 2 opt-ins so that you can split test those against each other and see which one is it that people want? All right. So now let's move on to quiz option B. These are the people who have some engagement. You have some engagement, people are excited, and people sometimes ask you questions. They basically ask anything that you share. Oh, may I have the address of this? How do you do this? How do I do that? And you're like, I can't run my business just constantly answering DMs and not driving them somewhere, right? So I got you. What I want you to do is sit down and now write down the top 5 questions that you are asked the most. You can literally do this in a minute if you've been getting questions, right? Because you know what questions you're getting asked the most. The next thing I want you to do is for you to be creating a very simple video or guide or checklist or a PDF, right? So your top 5 questions, for each of them, you can have a resource for them. So now, whenever you have people engaging and asking the same questions, instead of you going in and typing this long question or long answer, right, so deeply, so robustly, and what you can do is now you can say, hey, look, I get this question a lot, and I've created this resource that answers these questions specifically. All you have to do is click on this link and just go and get it, right? And so people will be so appreciative that you have taken the time to create a nice PDF or even a nice video to answer that questions. Okay, so for those people who are like, oh my God, my business is actually picking up, I'm actually getting engagement, but I can't spend 10 minutes typing answers to every question. This is the way of how you can drive them to your own email list, because building your database is one of the most valuable things that you can do for your business. All right, so one of the examples that I can give you is that a lot of people are telling me that I know I need to create social media content, I just don't have the time. How do you find time? And that's exactly what I've created. I have created a resource, a short training on how to create 30 days worth of content in one day or in under 1 hour. And I've actually given them a template and things like that. And if you like that, it will be added to the link in the description in my bio. And you can have a look and create something similar for yourself, for your client, responding to whatever questions that they have just asked you. All right, so now you have properly set up your back end for the lead acquisition in the ways of Instagram, right? With a strategy and not just crossing my fingers. Hopefully someone would land on my website and subscribe to my newsletter. All right, next up, let's talk about LinkedIn. Now, for the longest amount of time, I wasn't utilizing my LinkedIn, right? And I talk so much about Instagram and Facebook, and many people around me have told me that, hey, Michelle, you're ignoring one of the best platforms to engage with your customers and to really grow your email list. And I was like, still resistance, but I started paying more and more attention, and they were right. And so this year, we started to do more on LinkedIn for my own business, and I encourage you to do so. But I am definitely not a LinkedIn expert, right? And I'll share what I've been doing very minimally that have gotten leads DMing me. And I totally get it if you feel like it's not for you, because I felt exactly the same way about LinkedIn at first, right? I mean, it is still surreal to me that I'm talking to you about LinkedIn today, because a short 6 months ago, and well, even today, if I'm not intentional, LinkedIn still gets on my nerves. I mean, some of the posts can be very pompous and very humble bragging, and I can't stand it. But we have a mission here. It's not about what others do, it's about us wanting to attract like-minded people to us. And if we don't post, how are like-minded people are going to find and know about us? All right. So, I mean, yes, LinkedIn definitely still has a reputation as a corporate platform, and for most entrepreneurs like us, it triggers thoughts, feelings, and flashbacks of resumes, recruiters, and a life that we have intentionally left behind. And I totally hear you. And those things do exist still on LinkedIn, but it has changed a lot recently. And it's currently a gold mine of attention for entrepreneurs who want to grow their list. And there's so much upside for you right now. And it really doesn't take that much work to capitalize on it. And it is true. No matter who your ideal audience is, and especially if you don't think your business is right for LinkedIn, right? And I know this firsthand because my own ideal customer is not a corporate clientele or anyone who would be considered a traditional LinkedIn user. And that's the same for most of my students. But by using strategies like this, LinkedIn has become a consistent source of relevant inbound leads growth for myself. And of course, if you do happen to cater to a more stereotypical LinkedIn user, then there's really no questions that you should be using the platform to drive traffic to your own site. So let's dive into these strategies. Number one, tap into the power of your profile. There's so much power in your LinkedIn profile. You just need to set it once, okay? If you use it strategically, it can act as an incredible landing page for your business that drives traffic. Because LinkedIn is actually older than Facebook, which means that whether you are interested in spending a lot of time on LinkedIn or not, odds that you have created a LinkedIn profile at some point, right? And something you might not know about is that it is an incredibly powerful search engine in itself, which means it's worth for you to optimize it so you can be found by relevant users, right? That means whenever someone Googles something, LinkedIn rank incredibly high on external search engines. Which means if you've been focusing, very hard on SEO and every other platforms besides LinkedIn, if someone Googles you, you're missing a prime opportunity to be growing your list and driving traffic to your business, right? Because you want to be found. And especially if you're a successful entrepreneur, but one of the top search results say that you are working in a job that you left 8 years ago, then that's not great for your profile, isn't it? So the first step that I would suggest you to do is make sure that your profile is up to date. And that includes making sure your profile picture, your headline, your contact links, they are all current and aligned with what you do today. And if you haven't been on LinkedIn in a while, they have recently rolled out a new featured section on your profile. And this is great because this is where you can prominently showcase work that you've done, right? Content that you've created or awards that you've won that are on or off the platform. So you can link it to your free trainings, resources, and other list building content or lead magnets that you might be using. Because before this update, LinkedIn articles were the only type of content that you could prominently feature on the profile. And the links that you could include in your about sections were not very obvious. But now with this new featured sections, you can literally just put, front and center any type of post that you created on your website, any type of lead magnets that you want to drive people to, right? So you drive people to the key content that you want people to consume. And this is the prime location for any lead magnets or funnel that you want people to get onto. So you can use your LinkedIn profile basically as a free extension of your website. And that's easy for people to find because there's already a lot of traffic on LinkedIn. And it does rank very highly in search engines. So it could very well be someone's first impression of you and your business. Okay? So you really want to make sure that your profile is optimized to drive traffic exactly where you want it to go. Now, On to strategy number 2. Let's talk about how to share links to your lead magnets for maximum reach from your LinkedIn content. And yes, there's a specific way to do this effectively. Now, for those of you who don't know, LinkedIn over the last few years has really embraced content creation on the platform. And they have added updates and new ways to create content, including adding your own native video. And they have one of the most user-friendly algorithms out there, and there's lots of organic reach right there, and you do not need to pay to play. And to encourage you to create even more engaging content, LinkedIn algorithm can serve your content to people who are not in your immediate network. And this means that people who do not follow you or they are not connected to you, those people can still see your content in their feed, which means your lead magnet will reach an even larger audience. And the vast majority of LinkedIn users, they don't create any content, and only around maybe 1% of monthly active users actually create, which means there's a lot less competition and a lot more white space for you to be seen. And if you do create content around your business, you can easily create content on LinkedIn to grow your list, and that you can do it in a way that is organic and not spammy, right? Here's the thing, you can't just drop your link and just call it a day. The best way to drive traffic to your lead magnet is to create content that ties in or relates to it, but also offer some values around it. And I want you to make this easy, right? It does not need to be something complicated. It can be as simple as, a short text-based status post, right? And I do this myself. I create a quick value pack post with an actionable tip or an insight or an engaging question that leads to one of my lead magnets, right? And most of the time, I just basically repurpose content that I've created for other platforms, and I'll just put it there. And then this is the important part. After I put the post, I add the link of the lead magnet in the comment. And for those of you who create pillar content elsewhere, you don't need to link it to an obvious lead magnet. For example, I use the same podcast that you're listening to right now, the Chill Mom Boss Show, to do this. I'll post a valuable quote or a lesson or an audio teaser from this episode on LinkedIn. And in the post, I say link to the full episode in the comments, where I know they'll be heading to my website. Or I'll have a different call to action to a lead magnet, right? And you can play around with this, but depending on what the post is, I will either direct people to the actual post copy or in the comments for more information. Or sometimes I won't even say anything in the post copy, and in the comments itself, I just say, for more tips on this, you might like, and then a link, right? Ultimately, your post is about intriguing people to learn more because you delivered value, and you do not want to make them feel like you are clickbaiting them. And a hot tip, in case you're wondering why I keep saying putting your link in the comments, it is because platforms make money by keeping people on their own platform. And any links to your content that drive people off the platform, their algorithm technically don't like that. So they won't share your post to larger audience whenever there's a link in it. And so including the link in the post is a mistake that I have made, and I see a lot of people are making, right? And why people are not getting a huge reach is because they have added a link. And this has been tested, okay? And adding a link in the post itself would actually stop your post from reaching more people, all right? So in order to still add a link to that post, is to add it in the comment, because technically it's not part of the post, right? And so that's it for LinkedIn strategies. And now it's time for Facebook. And I have a few strategies that you can use whether you're just starting out or you are extremely seasoned as an entrepreneur. And the first strategy I want to share with you can be used in your Facebook group. And if you don't have one right now, you may want to consider starting one. And I'm talking about a free Facebook group where you can build your community. This is because Facebook groups are incredibly powerful, especially if you're just starting out and you're working on building your email list. And with that, here are a couple of effective ways to convert your group members to your email list. And again, I'm talking about creating a free Facebook group like I have for Mom Boss Academy, which is called Mom Bosses United, where I invite people to come and share about their business, get into conversations, and really just build the women entrepreneurs community. And that's an example of a Facebook group I'm talking about here. So for starters, Facebook rallies up newest members and allow you to tag them all in one post. So if you see this on the right side of your Facebook group, under the members section, it will say something like, oh, you have 15 new members this week, right? So what you want to do is write a post to welcome them. And it is a great idea because you can now, just select all of these people and customize the post by welcoming them into the group and also lead them immediately to your free resource, meaning your free lead magnet that they can opt into. So it could be, hey, welcome to our new members. Introduce yourself below. Tell us who you are, what business you're in. As a thank you, make sure you grab your freebie that is all about XYZ, and then you can insert the freebie link. You could even tell them a little bit about how that lead magnet is going to help them and why they would want it. All right. Now in Facebook group have this function where you can just schedule a post where it automatically just welcome new members every week with the same message. Right? So all you need to do is start a Facebook group and then set that welcome message on automation and link it to your lead magnets. That's it. You're just making sure that everyone that's coming into your Facebook group is going to grab or at least been exposed or been offered this lead magnet that you have created for them. And if you want, you can even add an image for your welcome post. All you need to do is go to a free resource like Canva to create a simple cover image. All right. So for Facebook group, the dimension for that image is 1640 times 920 pixels. All right. So when you actually go into Canva, they have a template for Facebook group cover image. In Canva, you could just create an image that you can include as a text and your freebie to kind of like highlight it and to tell people where to go and get that freebie that you have created for them. It's a great way to introduce yourself and to ensure everyone on your Facebook group is introduced to this lead magnet. And I know what you are thinking right now. Oh my God, starting a Facebook group? What if nobody joined? That was my very first thought when I started a Facebook group some 5 years ago. And I remember thinking, oh my God, how am I even going to get people to join? It's so embarrassing. What if I only have 10 members and new members coming in, seeing this is a new group? And guess what? 5 years on, we have over 4,000 members, and it requires very little time from me. And most of our weekly prompts are already been scheduled and automated. And how do we drive people to the Facebook group is really through initially, the first group of people who may have already liked my page or are my friends. And you could also share about the Facebook group to your personal profile. With Facebook group, the good thing is that Facebook do help expose your groups to people who have liked or join similar group as yours. So yeah, it's just a free and easy way to reach more people and get them to join your list. Now, Another simple strategy for Facebook groups is one of the things that we have implemented right from the start. When you join, let's say, our free Facebook group like Mom Bosses United group, you notice that when you join, you will be asked a series of questions, right? And this is a feature for all Facebook groups where you could literally ask anything you want, right? And people can answer the question in this blank field, and then they could submit the request to be accepted to your group. And then you can review all their answers and then approve them. So one of the things that you can do, and what we've done, is that you can even ask, hey, do you want our freebie about X, Y, and Z, right? If you want, give us your email and name below. You can literally just manually grab that name and email and subscribe them for them. Okay? Because they left that email, right? They have actually given you permission. So that's a really easy, it's a little bit more manual, but it is a way to build up your email list, right? And it's not just about just adding them to your email list. What you can do is add them to an email list, welcome them, and send them a freebie regardless. Okay? So in our Facebook group, we literally just ask people for their email address saying, hey, would you like to be added to our email list to receive cool resources and updates? Some people may leave, but some wouldn't. And I think it's a really easy and cool way to build your email list right from the get-go from people who are brand new in your Facebook group. That's how you start nurturing them. If you're not part of Mom Bosses United Facebook group, jump in there. You'll see an example of this, okay? I will add the link in my description right now. Okay, moving on. This next strategy, again, we're talking about Facebook, is to promote a post to drive Facebook traffic to your free resource. And for all my seasoned list builders out there, this isn't going to be anything new to you. But for those who just started out, this could be a really big boost, right? And this is a very simple breakdown. Once you have your lead magnet and your landing page set up, head on over to Facebook and share your lead magnet in a post. Just be very intentional about how you invite your followers to click and subscribe to receive your lead magnet. And remember, people tend to be cautious about giving out their email. So you may want to use language that makes them can't say no to whatever free resource that you're offering them, right? So make your copy enticing. Maybe you can tell a quick story or two or a quick tip and then say, if you like more tips like this, head on over to www.whatever and grab my free resource that's all about X, Y, and Z. And also include a great image. It could be a picture of you or a picture of something interesting or the cover of your lead magnet itself. Okay? And so once you have created your post and you publish it, you can ask your friends and family, right? And if you don't have an audience yet, just ask your friends and family to, can you please help me comment on this specific post? Just send them the link and say, can you please say something nice about my freebie? I mean, come on, right? We're getting really basic here, right? Really grassroots here. We're just starting out and we all know we go to our friends and families to help us out in the beginning. Now, if you already have an audience, right? Then put out the post organically. And you can even go jump on Instagram story and say, hey guys, I've got a new freebie. I just posted about it on Facebook, link to it. Come on over, check it out. And the goal is you want people to leave comments, right? Can you please download and leave a comment about how excited you are of the lead magnet, that you can't wait to check it out? And if you've already checked it out, can you please leave a review about how great it is, right? You can even encourage your audience and say, hey, check out the lead magnet. And if you love it, I would love for you to leave a message below encouraging others to grab it too. Okay? So you could let your audience know what you're looking for, what sort of comments that you're looking for, and then you send them over. Now, these comments are going to stay there, all right? That means what you're going to do now is you're going to turn it into an ad. Okay? And these comments is going to create social proof for you. And it's to create that little bit FOMO for those people who are interested but haven't opted in, right? And these comments are saying, this freebies is so good, or this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is so helpful. This is so valuable. I can't wait to start implementing it, or whatever that might be, right? So if you have comments like that, and other people who have not opted in and go, wow, all these other people are excited about it, maybe I should go check it out. Okay? And that's why you want to ask your friends and family to, kind of leave some of those messages there. Okay? Because they're the ones who will do anything for us, especially when we're starting out. Now that you've got some cool comments below your post, and that will entice other people to want to sign up, you are going to go to Meta Ads Manager and turn the post into an ad. Yes, you can click on the blue button on the bottom of right side of your post that says boost post. That's easy to boost a post. But do know that you won't be able to get hyper targeted audience and get super clear conversion data if you don't do it via the ad manager. Now, if you want to learn how to set up an ad using Meta Ads Manager, and it's really where you go to set up ads for Instagram and Facebook, we have a training inside Momentum. Go to momboss.academy/momentum. You can find the link in the description below this video. Now, I know you're saying, but Michelle, how much money should I spend? It really depends on how much you have. I would say start low, maybe $10 per day for 7 days at least. And of course, the more money you put into this, the more you can test it out, the faster you'll know, all right? And so once you posted it, right, and you're boosting it with ads, do keep tabs and see how it is converting. If it's not converting as well as you like, make some tweaks, right? Maybe test the image that you're using, maybe test the audience that you are putting it in front of, but let it run for a little bit, like for at least a week or 2 weeks to see. And once you know an organic post is working, now you're just amplifying it with ads, right? It saves you a lot more time and just using a little bit more money to put your lead magnet in front of much more people in a short amount of time. And with that, last but certainly not least, link your lead magnet to your post as much as possible. Just because you're posting often doesn't mean your entire audience will see every single post. So don't be afraid to include a call to action to your freebie in many different ways, many different times. So what I mean is that if you're on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, and let's say you do videos, at the end of your videos, always say something like, hey, if you like this and you like more tips like this, I've got a great free guide about X, Y, and Z. Go and check it out. And always have a really easy URL like momboss.academy/blog/lead magnet, right? Simple. Or consistent dream clients is another very simple URL of ours that I'll never forget. And that goes right into our free webinar. And let's say if I'm in a Facebook Live and people ask, how do I get more high quality clients? And I know instantly, momboss.academy/consistent dream clients. So think of really simple URLs, not just that your audience can easily type it in, which is important, but so that you can always remember it. Okay, so if you don't have a simple URL for your lead magnet that you are going to talk about the most, then just create one. Okay, you can just easily create one. If you created your lead magnet with Ampli, you can just dictate what the pathway, the last bit of your URL should look like. Bitly is another way that I do that, right? Because there's a lot of ways to get simple URLs based on your website, and go and figure that out. And if you have a really difficult website name, which I don't think you would, but let's just say you do, right? Like you're like, oh, I don't like my website name, then you could always do a redirect, right? You can literally get a domain like getmichellefreebies.com, I mean, that doesn't exist, but you could do that. and just redirect that to an opt-in page. And there are a lot of different things that you could do here to make that simple, okay? And what I want to point out is that you just need one lead magnet, right? Just one. And if it's not converting well, perfect it. Change it up. Change up the marketing of it, the language of it, the content if you're not hitting the mark. But I want you to just focus on 1 or 2 lead magnets and start getting leads every day with that. And that means you should put it in your email signature, you put it in your social media bios, your LinkedIn bios. You should be putting it anywhere and everywhere that you can, that makes sense, in order to get it out there, okay? And I would love to see it on the homepage of your website as well. But more importantly than where you're putting the link for people to get it is you showing up and talking about it, right? On Instagram stories, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn videos, wherever you want to talk about it, do so. Because the more you talk about it and give it the link, the better. So you don't need a bunch of lead magnets to be successful. One really good one will grow your email list. So there you have it. I know I just covered quite a few strategies and I don't expect you to do all of them at once. Just choose 1 or 2 strategies and commit to getting them done right away. Okay? And just start one today. You could actually knock one out right now. Just do it today. Take these strategies seriously and take some action. If you don't yet have a lead magnet and you're like, Michelle, I cannot take action, I don't have a lead magnet to give away a freebie, go back to my podcast episode 112 and get that freebie completed, because there's so much more you can do when you have a lead magnet, okay? You can also join my Get 100 Leads free training to get your lead magnet and automation set up, and I'll link that one below too. And if you love this episode and you love the Chill Mom Boss podcast, which I hope you do, please leave me a review and a 5-star rating so that we can keep bringing you the highest quality, the best of the best step-by-step approaches for growing your business online. And it will only just take 5 minutes, probably less than 5 minutes, and I will forever be grateful. All right, my fellow mom bosses, see you at our next episode. You've got this.